Montgomery County. I'm sorry, I'm reading from the wrong sheet. Next, I'd like to welcome one of our outstanding volunteers, Janet Hickey, who also serves as president of the Montgomery County Master Gardeners Association. Janet will share information about 4 new gardens the Master Gardeners have designed and developed this year. Janet?
When the Ohio State University Extension Master Gardener Volunteers of Montgomery County partnered with the VA Medical Center and the American Veterans Heritage Center in April of 2013, their vision was to install a lake fountain similar to the one that existed in the early 1900s. Today, thanks to our generous sponsors, we are celebrating the reality of their vision with the dedication of the Lewis B. Gunkel Memorial Fountain. Also, thanks to many other charitable donors, the Master Gardener volunteers have designed and planted 4 new gardens. They are the Dr. Clark McDermott Hillside Perennial Garden. Dr. McDermott was the first surgeon of the Dayton National Soldiers Home. Dr. McDermott was one of the first to enlist when President Lincoln called for troops at the outbreak of the War of the Rebellion. Appointed Chief Surgeon of the 2nd Ohio Volunteer Infantry, Dr. McDermott was either engaged with marching regiments or in hospital service. He had charge of some of the largest general hospitals in the country. Gene Heffer is the designer and team leader for this garden that attracts butterflies and hummingbirds. The second garden is the Major General James B. McPherson Boathouse Garden. General McPherson, an Ohio native, was the highest-ranking Union officer killed during the Civil War. One of the boats used by Civil War veterans and visitors on the lake was named after General McPherson. Susan Pearson is the designer and team leader for this shade garden that brings color and texture to this area. The Lieutenant William Lowell Putnam Perennial Garden. Lieutenant Putnam was mortally wounded in the Battle of Ball's Bluff on October 22nd, 1861. His mother, Mary Lowell Putnam, donated a renowned library collection to the Dayton Soldiers Home as a memorial to her son. Pat Durbin is the designer and team leader for this garden that displays hostas and seedlings amongst a wide variety of other perennials. The Charles Harper Magnolia Garden. Charles Harper was the head groundskeeper in the early 1980s. While clearing some underbrush, Mr. Harper discovered some steps in the grotto. He enlisted the help of his crew to clear brush and honeysuckle, and a restoration began. This garden honors Charles Harper and the 1984 VA grounds crew. Susan Baker, Karen Moody, and Susan Witherspoon designed and planted this garden. After the fountain dedication, Master Gardener volunteers will be nearby to provide more information about the new gardens and to conduct tours at the sites for anyone who is interested. As you note on the table, there are Grotto note cards and artwork that were created by Diane Harm, our professional botanical artist and Master Gardener volunteer. They will be available for sale at that time. Thank you, Master Gardeners, for a job well done.
Thank you, Janet. Our final speaker is Merle M. Wilberding. Merle is well known in the local area with more than 35 years advising and representing clients in the Miami Valley. He has been recognized countless times for various community leadership roles. We are honored to have Merle address the legacy of Louis B. Gunkel. Merle.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful setting, even on a rainy day, and what a real tribute it is to the talents and energies of the Master Gardeners. They've really done a wonderful job at this site. And this is a great opportunity for me to talk about the legacy of Louis B. Gunkel. And I want to talk a little bit about him in an historical context. More than 100 years ago, one of our great local historians, Charlotte Reeve Conover, wrote a book called Dayton Saints and Prophets, and she devoted a full chapter of it to Louis B. Gunkel. And in the book, she talks about a young man walking along the winding avenues of Soldiers' Home, looking at the beds of flowers and stately trees, past the gardens, the lakes, and the woods, and asking, who planned this Soldiers' Home? Conover said, there is only one answer, and that answer is Louis Gunkel. And she then described Louis Gunkel by referring to the epitaph for Sir Christopher Wren that's at the St. Paul's Cathedral in London. And I will struggle through the Latin phrase first. Si monumentum re quieras, circum spice. And translated that means, because I don't think my Latin's very good, if you're looking for his monument, look around you. And that epitaph applies so well to Louis Gunkel, and it also explains why we should remember his legacy. I'll tell you a little bit about his life first. Louis Gunkel was born in 1826 in Germantown, Ohio, the grandson of Philip Gunkel, the founder of Germantown. He went to college, first at Farmers College, then at Miami University, and then to law school at the College of Law at Cincinnati. After that, he became a lawyer in 1851. He was in the Ohio Senate for a number of terms and served as a United States congressman and all. And through it all, he practiced law the rest of his life until he died in 1903. But more than anything else, Louis Gunkel was a community builder. And I identified 5 institutions that he created and founded, and I'll go through those just because I think they're significant because they're all still in our community. First, he and his father-in-law was Valentine Winters. The two of them created Winters National Bank, which, as you all know, is a long and old venerable banking name in the Dayton community. Later it became Bank One, and more recently J.P. Morgan Chase. The second institution, he and his father-in-law, Valentine Winters, led the fund to create the public library in the village of Germantown. And that library continues today as an independent operating public library. Third, Gunkel created the Associated Charities of Dayton. And that institution is still alive and well today, operating as Family Services Association. And fourth, and here's where I come in 1853, Louis Gunkel and Hiram Strong formed the law firm of Gunkel and Strong. They formed it on March 8th of 1853, which I remember because that's my birthday, so that was a good sign. But through the past 160 years, that Gunkel and Strong firm has evolved into the firm now of Coolidge Wall. And I've been a member of Coolidge Wall for over 40 years, and while I didn't know Louis Gunkel personally, but I know some of my partners back there think I did. But I will say that all of us here, and I know there are a number of our partners here, we all are very grateful and appreciative and respect the Gunkel heritage that we live in and that we're all sharing today, so it's been a wonderful experience for us. And fifth, and more than anything else, Louis Gunkel is known as the founding father of the Dayton Soldiers' Home that continues today as the Dayton VA Medical Center. During the Civil War, Louis Gunkel served in the Ohio Senate, and he was arguing and pushing for an Ohio soldiers' home. And one of his famous speeches in the Ohio Senate was this: "We must fight or pay. We ought to do both. We have to do one." That speech got him national recognition, and when the Congress created the Disabled Volunteer Soldiers Board of Managers, he was appointed. And first there were 13 members, and included the President of the United States, the Chief Justice of the United States, and the Secretary of War, 5 military generals and 5 civilians, one of whom was Louis Gunkel. Louis Gunkel was quickly elected to be the secretary of the association, and that gave him great credibility and influence in picking Dayton as one of the 3 sites for the Soldiers' Home following the Civil War. Gunkel also led the Dayton community to raise $20,000 towards the $46,000 price that was necessary to acquire the more than 500 acres that we have through here. So major contribution and a wonderful opportunity. After that was created, the site was wonderful because it was served by 2 railroads, and it soon developed into a whole campus complex: residential quarters, workshops, chapel, library, entertainment buildings, and of course, healthcare facilities. Gunkel was passionate about his community and passionate about giving to his community. As he said in 1896 at the creation of Associated Charities of Dayton, he said, "When a man dies, too many people ask, what did he have? When the real question ought to be, what did he give?" And that was a major factor in Gunkel's life. Gunkel gave much to our community, and we're especially grateful for his role in bringing the Soldiers' Home in Dayton to bring health care for the veterans of the Civil War, and that has continued to the present when the Dayton VA Medical Center provides health care to the veterans of all the wars. It's a wonderful opportunity. So when we're all done, who is Louis Gunkel? Here comes PK. Look around you, and you will see his continuing legacy as the father of Dayton Soldiers' Home and the father of the Dayton VA Medical Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Merle. At this point in the program, I've been instructed by the VA Medical Center staff to relinquish the podium. John?
Thanks, Bob. As we all know, Bob is very humble. As humble as he can be, we knew we would have to ask him and maybe even nudge him toward the front to be recognized. Behind every great success is a great team. And Bob Neff is the great person who put that great team together to accomplish all of this. Essentially, he put together the donors, the volunteers. He helped do a lot of the moving parts to make all this happen. I'd like to invite him to join Miss Harm up front for some special presentations. As we get ready to make these presentations, we'd like to recognize the amazing artistry of Diane Harm. As you can see, the artwork captures the entire essence of the grotto as a masterpiece, and she did this using only colored pencils. As you can see over here, we have many prints and posters to present. Obviously, with the conditions, they're all wrapped in plastic, so forgive us for that. To preserve these great prints, we're going to ask each person or organization that's being recognized to step in front of the poster to the right for a photo, and then be seated again. Now, Bob and Diane will recognize the major fountain and garden donors. When you hear your name, please come forward. Robert and Barbara Bowser. Marks family is next. We'll move on to the Pembroke Garden Club. The Miami Valley Hosta Society. The Knollwood Garden and Landscaping Center. James Free Jewelers. And following, we'll receive the framed prints, starting off with Mr. Costa. Judge Rice, if you would please. And Judge, you can pick this up afterward. Suzanne Mills Wozniak. Representing Coolidge Wall Company. The Four Seasons Garden Club. Ohio Association of Garden Clubs. Blue Star Mothers, Miami Valley Chapter 3. Please join me in congratulating all of these fantastic people. At this point, I'll turn the podium back over to Bob. But first, a selection by Leora.
We all know America the Beautiful. I'd like to share the words of the last verse, which seems so appropriate for today. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
this time, will Merle Wilberding, Julie Cannon, Robert and Barbara Bowser, and Mary Sipple please come forward to join Mr. Costi in the unveiling of the Louis D. Gunkel Memorial Fountain Plaque and the activation of
Okay, if everybody you look here, we'll take a couple pictures of everybody holding it. Let everybody grab a picture. Is everybody ready? And we'll, on three, we'll unveil. 1, 2, 3.